guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to be filming today. So it is the 26th, it's Saturday. Y'all, it's been crazy. I can't believe November is almost over. I'm very excited to bring this video to you today. I did a poll on the community tab with a couple different video ideas, and this one won on the poll, and it's what I am currently using for my Bible study and quiet time. So I'm really excited to get into this video, and if you want to see what I do, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of break this down. It's kind of silly. I'm like, here's my Bible study and quiet time stuff, but I don't have my actual Bible on me right now. It's downstairs, but I just use an NIV version. I typically do something with like a commentary. I think the one I'm using is Max Lucado's Encouraging Word NIV Study Bible, and I have really enjoyed it. I also love the She Reads Truth CSB Bible. I have it in like the champagne leather color. Love it. It has like little devotionals and snippets of things to say about the text that you read. It's a really wonderful Bible if you like CSB translation. That's pretty much all I use is NIV, and then sometimes CSB. I don't really use ESV, NLT. I like having a bunch of different translations, but the main ones that really help me understand is NIV and then sometimes CSB. If y'all would like to see a Bible collection, please let me know. I have several Bibles for many different translations, and some have been gifts, some have been what I bought for myself. So if you would be interested in seeing that, I would love to do a video of that eventually. Let me know below if you'd like to see a Bible collection video. That's the Bible that I use, and currently I'm doing one devotional right now, and then I'm reading a book that's kind of like a book and a devotional and a Bible study. It's kind of mixed into one. I'll get into that in a minute, and then I'm doing a full-on Bible study with Sunday school at church. So this is the devotional that I am using. It is new to me, one of my favorite devotionals in the world. And if you've been here a while, you know this. It's A Path to Redeeming Love, a 40-day devotional by Francine Rivers with Karen Stock Bersma. I read Redeeming Love last year in December, so almost a whole year ago, for the very first time, and I was so impacted by the book. I was looking it up one day, and I saw on, what's that called? Amazon. I saw on Amazon where this was a devotional with it, and I was like, what? So I got it. Y'all, I did it starting like January. I remember, I think I bought it on January 6th, and I started it that day. I did it for the 40 days. And I had just, read the book. So everything was fresh. And people say that, like in the reviews, that you don't have to read the book in order to do this devotional. But I really think it helps and makes the biggest impact for you and your walk and quiet time is to know the story first. Because it does have snippets of the story at the beginning of each devotional. And it's also broken down kind of how the book is. I love this devotional. It is my favorite devotional that I've ever done. And what I mean by devotional, it's not like a Bible study. It's just a devotional, a daily snippet of just a little lesson or something. And it's wonderful. I plan on doing it in December when I reread Redeeming Love with Chrissy's Purple Library. So I'm really excited. I just want to shout this out because honestly, I would do this all year round. Like, guys, I loved it so much. Me and my mom did it together because we read the book together. And I got the devotional for each of us. We did it for the 40 days. And I was so sad when we finished that I literally we started it over and did it all over again right after we started it. That tells you how good it is. But this one is new to me, and so my therapist has tried to encourage me to journal more. I'm very much a verbal processor with things. And in order to help just work out some of my emotions outside of therapy and things like that and my thoughts, she wants me to journal. I've been seeing her for 10 years, and journaling is just so hard for me because I'm also kind of a perfectionist, and so like I don't have a guideline, and I've looked up guidelines, and I've just tried all the things, and journaling has been really hard for me. And so I've been trying to find a devotional that is, faith-based, but also geared toward mental health and also geared toward journaling. And it's been very difficult to find. I've bought several and the components just wasn't adding up. Like there wasn't enough faith, or there was too much, like when it came to the mental health side, it was just too much, I hate to say secularness, but like it just didn't line up to with my views. And so I nixed those, and then they either just none of them worked out. And I just happened to see this, and this is pretty new. I think it came out in October. It's called Worthy: 50 Mindful Moments to Bring Clarity and Peace to Your Day by Brittany Moses. She is a Christian, and she is also a mental health advocate, and I'm pretty sure she's a psychologist. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure she is. And you just open it up. It's so beautiful. And this has truly been the perfect mix of faith, but also checking in with yourself every day. And it's just great. So this is kind of like what the first day looks like. Here's the devotional. It's just really short. It has a verse. She talks about what the devotion is for the day, and then you have an affirmation for each day. This one says, every part of me is worthy of attention. And then at the end, you have a check-in. So you date it up here, and this is all for one day. And you say how you're feeling, and you have a tracker for like your mood, and it's all on a scale of like, are you feeling calm, motivated, loved, happy, focused, or grateful? Or are you feeling anxious, unmotivated, lonely, sad, distracted, angry? You talk about how many hours of sleep have you got. You say if you exercised or not. You have top 3 goals for the day, 3 things you are grateful for that day, and then 1 practical way you can apply the reading from that day. It has been extraordinary, and I cannot begin to tell you like how great it has been to read this. And I want to read one of them to you all. It deeply impacted me, and this might get a little longer than anticipated, but I really wanted to share some of my heart with you all in this video. So some things have come up the last couple weeks personally, that things that I thought I was healed from or on the mend of healing from has come back and really uprooted a lot of anxiety and, in a way, trauma for me. And so I've been processing that with therapy and inordinate amounts of prayer. And I was kind of slacking on doing this, and I'm like, I need to check in with myself every day and document my mood, my feelings, so I have a better understanding of where I'm truly at for each day. And this was one of the readings and devotional for the 20th. It's when I did it, so I did it on the 20th. And I've been having a hard time, and we had like a family emergency yesterday. That's why I haven't. And then we had the holiday Thursday, and it's just been insane lately, and I haven't got to get videos out. And I wanted to read this. Taking every thought captive. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Isaiah 26:3, NIV translation. One of the beautiful complexities that is woven into the human mind is the superpower called metacognition. Metacognition is your ability to think about your thoughts. This means that you can separate yourself long enough to examine your own thoughts. And if you can think outside of your thoughts, this is proof that you are not your thoughts. And I underlined this. Just because a thought exists doesn't automatically make it true. At any moment, you have the ability to take a step back and choose between which thoughts you will align yourself with and which you will reject. It's this very process of metacognition that allows us to take every thought captive to obey Christ, 1 Corinthians 10:5. How you feel about yourself or your circumstances today does not change God's call over your life. If a thought doesn't align with who God created you to be, loved, forgiven, redeemed, secure, full of purpose, made for good works, then it is the thought that is flawed. It is the thought that needs to be changed and brought into alignment with the truth that never changed. In Christ, we're no longer striving for worth, but living from worth. Rest in this today. And it just makes me emotional reading that, because, what my anxiety does is, something that bothers me, or like how I thought I was healed from something, and then it's resurfaced, and it's been very difficult because I thought I had such confirmation and healing from God, and then it's came back up, and it's been very difficult for me. And to know that I take a step back, just because all these what ifs and all these things come into my brain, it does not mean it's true. Just because I have a thought, let's assess that thought. Let's stop. Let's think about what I'm thinking. Is it true? Does it line up with God's word? Does it line up with what he says, who he says I am, who I am created to be through him? And is it honoring to him? And if it's not, that doesn't mean that I'm bad. It's just it doesn't mean that, I'm bad for thinking a thought. It's that thought is flawed. I need to redirect it to the truth of Christ and his word. It just was so empowering to me. So I just wanted to show y'all, and I really, really love it. I highly recommend it, and I'm a big proponent for like devotionals having a ribbon, and it does. It's just very beautiful. I think if you really, even if you don't struggle with mental health, if you don't struggle with anxiety or depression, I still think this is a great way to just get to know yourself a little bit better, to check in every day, and not only to get encouraging word and truth from the devotional, but just to track your feelings, your sleep, your goals, exercises, mood, all these things. It's wonderful. I highly recommend this book. It is fantastic. The next thing I've been working on that's been a part of like my quiet and Bible study time is this Lisa TerKeurst's book. It's What Happens When Women Say Yes to God and Walk in Faith. And if you've been here a little bit or seen a video or two, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of Lisa. It's that I really struggle sometimes to understand and fully follow and comprehend some of her writing. Some of her books have been pretty heavy, like Forgiving What You Can't Forget, It's Not Supposed to Be This Way, and those are the ones that I have tried reading from her. And they've just been very hard for me to even just grasp, you know what I mean? They've just came out, and I've tried to read them in times in my life when I don't think it was necessarily the time for me to be reading them. So I haven't read any of her older books, and this is like a new edition. It's like a keepsake edition. I found it at Hobby Lobby, and y'all, it was like $13 on sale, and everywhere else this is like $20. So if you're interested in this, I highly recommend it. I have been blown away. This is the first Lisa TerKeurst book that I have fully been reading through, that I am truly understanding it. God is speaking to me through it, and I am so thankful. So this is how I want to show you. This is how this is set up. So it has the introduction, and then it has, your chapter, and you go through your chapter, and some of these chapters are kind of long, but see, look at all this. Like, guys, I don't really love writing or highlighting in books. I have been doing a lot of that. So here's the chapter portion, and then here's like the Bible study portion, and there's just a few questions. This one kind of has a lot of questions. And then you go to the next chapter, and you read that chapter, and there's a little like Bible study portion from what you just read. It's just been really, really wonderful. It's highly spoken to me, and again, it just taps into fear. That's where a lot of my anxiety is rooted in, is fear of the unknown, fear of not having control. That's a big issue with me. Like, a lot of my fear is driven by I don't have control over most of these circumstances or things going on, and when I try to control and it doesn't work, it makes me more anxious. And have been learning over the last couple years that all these things, all these hardships that we have walked through as a family and personal, I have little to no control over a lot of it. And God just continues to show up for me, to show up for my family, help us through these hard things. He doesn't take away these hard things, but he helps us through them. And it just makes me trust him more, give up my control more. And every time something hard comes up, my first instinct is to control it, and I can't. And I'm just really learning to, instead of just jumping right in and trying to control, to take a step back and truly just saying, God, I have to trust you with this. Like, take a step back, like what Brittany said in the devotional. Look at my thoughts. It's very hard. It's very hard, and people are like, just give it to God. And I always used to think, how do I give it to God? Like, I pray and I ask to, and I say, I give this to you, God, but then I still lay there and I have anxiety and worry and fear, and it's not away. It's still with me. And the only thing that I can say that has helped me with that is multitudes of prayer. And it's not even elaborate. It's not this huge long prayer. It's just, please, Jesus. There's times that I don't even have the words to articulate how I feel or what I want to pray. I just say, please, Jesus. He knows my heart. He knows my thoughts. I'm not saying don't pray and have a nice, good conversation with God, but in moments when you're just overwhelmed or you don't have the words to speak or the thoughts to formulate the prayer, God knows your heart. Just saying, please, Jesus, please, Lord God, help me. He does, he will, he hears us, and he cares. And this book is really helping me to realize that I have fear, and it's scary to be out of my comfort zone. And it is scary to say yes to God, because that's what he does. He takes you out of your comfort zone. He, stretches you and pulls you and has you grow, and through all that you trust in him. And that's what all these last couple years has just been a growing season. And this book is helping me to realize that saying yes to God can be scary and it can be hard, but it's always worth the yes. And it's just been so beautiful. And another thing I did want to point out from this book is something that most of this has really impacted me a lot. I highly recommend picking this up. But some of the things that really stuck out to me is he has gone before us, and he sees the dangers and trials that we will face. He is telling us the way to go, the perspectives to keep, the things to avoid, and the things to hold fast to. Most of all, he is speaking to us because we are his own, and he wants a relationship with us. He loves us, adores us, treasures us, and has good plans for us. When we invest in spending time alone with God, he will speak to us, and what we hear from him is in these quiet times will be echoed in other places. And then you turn the page and some things go on, and it says, when God leads us or prompts us to do something small, we'll be able to do it if we're willing. But sometimes God calls us to do something big that we feel we can't do in our own strength. Either it is beyond our ability or beyond our natural human desire. It is not something we can strategize and manipulate into being in and of ourselves. It can only happen by God's divine intervention. I just love that because, there are a lot of times that God calls me to go do things that feel very much beyond my strength and control and my abilities. But every time he shows up and shows out and shows me that I can do these hard things, I can say yes, and I can go and trust him. And things might not go the way I think, or things might not go the way I hope they will, but he always ends up leading me through it with me every step of the way. And no matter what, at the end of the day, everything will be okay. And this book has just really encouraged me in that. Also, I wanted to show my sweet friend Hadara from I think it's Hadara Rose Company. She makes these precious bookmarks. Look how dainty and beautiful these are. She sent me one for free, and then I ordered 2 of them with my own money. And I just thought they were so gorgeous. I just wanted to shout out Hadara. She is so sweet, such a sweet friend and subscriber. Y'all need to go check her out. I'll have her Etsy shop linked below and her Instagram. Look at this. It makes me so happy seeing this in my book. Like, look how stunning that this is. And guys, I'm not really a bookmark girl. Sometimes I am, sometimes not. Usually I don't, but I just love the way it looks. So I'm using it. Then the last thing is what we're doing with church, and it's a Jude study. It does not come spiral bound like this, but I took it to Office Depot and I got it spiral bound because I like it things to lay flat like that or fold it. And it's wonderful. It's Jude, Contending for the Faith in Today's Culture by Jackie Hill Perry. I've never read or done anything by Jackie Hill Perry, but this has highly spoken to me. It's about, you know, contending for the faith and being believers and reaching those that are non-believers, and how to just really be able to not only share the gospel but live out that life for the Lord. It's been really wonderful. It's pretty intense in the sense of just the questions and the way she has you like dive into everything, but it's been wonderful. It's really, really spoken to me, and I know I keep saying that, but it has. These things have really worked in my life and in this time. And it's all about Jude, and Jude is only, you know, the one chapter, but there is so much packed in it, and I had no clue how much was packed in it until I started this study. It's just so amazing to me, and having the courage and strength to speak up about our faith and to share it with others, and to just live our life out for Christ and be the hands and feet of Him, and He will work through us and in us, and it's not through our own strength but Him. I love it. So there's that. We're doing that with Sunday school, and that's all for now. Usually I have been taking a break from like nonfiction Christian self-help books, but I don't know why. I just was in Hobby Lobby a couple weeks ago. I saw this Lisa TerKeurst book, and something just told me to buy it, and I've really enjoyed it. I've been taking it slowly. I'm taking it all in. I'm only a little through chapter 2, and I've had it for a couple weeks. I'm just taking my time. I don't want to rush through it for the sake of rushing. And then, like I said, this worthy devotional is so, so wonderful. And then I'm like off and on with the Bible recap. With doing all these things, I usually look up the scriptures that are in the book from Lisa, the worthy devotional, and then what I'm doing in Jude. And if I've already worked on those things, then I will either on my phone or with the book I have with the Bible recap to do Bible reading through there as well. I've learned that it's okay you don't have to stick to a strict structure or a set of rules or anything with your quiet time and Bible reading. It's just doing what is maintainable for you, but also just taking in that time with God, listening for Him, just resting in His presence, and getting to know Him through His Word. That is the ultimate source. He gave His Word to us, and we have the just amazing privilege to be able to open up our Bibles and our phones and all these things and have these resources at our fingertips to have a real encounter with the Lord and Savior. And it's just such a blessing. And A Voice in the Wind really showed me that it is a privilege, and I take it for granted so much. And I have just been going, through some things with family and my own personal struggles with anxiety this last month. And even though I'm struggling with my anxiety, I'm still hopeful. I still have faith, and I trust God more than ever. And I would not be feeling this way if it wasn't for my wonderful family, this wonderful community, most of all, Jesus and His unfailing love for us, and spending time with Him, getting in the Word, taking time to not only do these devotionals and studies and reading in the scriptures, but truly sitting and praying and having a conversation with Him, and knowing that He wants to hear from me and He wants to have a relationship with me. and it's been so comforting through this time in my life. I know I say that every little bit, that, you know, there's something going on with my family or something going on personally. But that's just my life right now. We just have a lot on our plate with a lot of factors and a lot of things, and that is just my life. It has been my life for the last 3 years, and God continues to grow me and mold me and form me into who He's created me to be, and I'm very thankful that I have Him to trust and hold on to. So I hope you all got something out of this. If you've done any of these or are interested to, let me know. What are you doing for your current Bible study and reading and devotionals and all that? Please let me know. I would love to hear it, and I'd love to hear any tips or things that you love to do. I love y'all very much. I am so blessed and thankful. If you're in the States and you had Thanksgiving on Thursday, I hope it was a wonderful time. I know that there is so much joy and happiness with holidays, but there's also a lot of sadness and heartache, pain and suffering. I just want you all to know that if you are out there and you're watching this video and you feel sad and alone and hopeless and broken, you're not alone. There are so many people that feel the exact same way. I'm praying for you. You are seen, known, and loved by the God of the universe. And He loves you. He wants you, and He wants you to rely on Him for help, and He will help you. It seems lonely and dark. It will not be that way forever. If it's not good, He is not done with you yet. He's doing a good work in you. And I pray that for each and every one of you, and if you're having a great, joyous season of happiness and love, I am so happy for you. I pray that continues. And I just can't wait to see what the Christmas season ends up looking like, and then going into the new year for 2023. I'm so blessed by all of you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.